See, boy, I'm trying to meet your mama on a Sunday. Then make a lot of love on a Monday. Never need no. Oh, I gotta sneeze. Oh my god. Well, now I don't ruin the song. Just run the intro. Oh my god. Welcome back to the Distract Me Please podcast. I'm your host, Brianna Silva, and today I am here by myself with my allergies, bro. I literally was sitting here cuddling with my Shayla, aka my Connie. Oh my god. Do I have a podcast titled My Shayla? Oh, I hope I don't. I feel like I've titled a podcast episode My Shayla, but like my Shayla. My Shayla, my Shayla, my beautiful Shayla. Y'all know that TikTok trend? Oh my god, why am I screaming right now? Okay, that's better. That's better. I don't know why I was screaming in your ear right now. Like, that's so crazy. Crazy, me and the squeaky chair, together forever. My Shayla, oh my Shayla. 1 minute and 32 seconds, and I've said absolutely nothing so far in this podcast episode. Y'all, if you're new here, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Somehow, some way, you ended up on this side of the internet. How did that happen to you? I guess we'll never know. But you know what's one thing we do know? I just came back from vacation. I'm on vacation tonight. Let me not sing that song because my podcast episode now goes up on my podcast is now up on YouTube. You can listen on YouTube. I don't have the videos up on YouTube. My videos are on Spotify. Guys, sooner or later I'm going to figure this podcasting stuff out. And I don't know if I'm like self-sabotaging. Let's have a real moment here. I know I can be great on social media, right? But I don't know if I'm self-sabotaging or if maybe I'm just not ready yet, because I feel like timing is everything. I'm quoting that Keke Palmer Club Shay Shay podcast interview because I was watching it as I was like cleaning up and preparing to record this podcast episode, because I just got back from my trip. I really felt like I just needed a vacation in life. I needed a break from life. You know, emotionally, let's be honest here. I'm not doing well. Okay, emotionally, she's just not feeling great. And I was watching that podcast episode and it was like, everything happens for a reason. Sometimes when you really want something, it doesn't happen and you just feel devastated. But everything happens for a reason and nothing happens before it's time. And that's something people always say in life. And I just feel like recently I've been so upset because I want things to happen at a certain time, need them to happen at a certain time. I have my life planned out. I have it planned out. Why is nothing working out for me? And I've just been so upset. And I'm like, maybe just because it's not my time, right? Because like I want to do video podcast episodes. I have the ability to do video podcast episodes, but I literally can't edit videos right now because when I say editing a video podcast, my computer crashes every 2 seconds. Like I actually physically cannot edit video content right now because I literally don't have the tech for it. And I have a MacBook Pro and I thought that would be great because, I've always heard that Apple is great for editing video content for content creators. And now I'm editing video content and my MacBook is literally having strokes, bro. Like aneurysm, stroke, heart attack every 3 seconds, every time I try to edit. And so the video literally takes me like 3 days to edit because I'm battling a computer the entire time. And I literally paid so much money for my editing software and I can't even use it. And so sometimes I sit here and I'm like, damn, this sucks. I'm such a failure. Like I could be doing video content. I could, my podcast could really be doing numbers if I was able to post on TikTok. But now TikTok's going away and that's so sad. And I'm just like, crap, bro. Like if I would have gotten it together. But it's like sometimes when I get out of that spiral and like self-talk and I'm sitting here going, oh, I'm self-sabotaging. And sometimes when I just take a step back and I'm like, wait, no, pause. Could you actually, at any point in time, actually physically create good video podcast content to post? And the answer is no. It just is. Because my computer literally can't handle it. Like, it causes my computer to crash. It causes everything to fall apart. I have never, ever, ever, other than when I used iMovie, have been able to create good video content. And while iMovie was easy to use, simple to use, all that, I couldn't create the content that I wanted to create. I was very limited in a lot of the video content that I wanted to make. So then that's why I spent so much money on good editing software. And now it literally, like, my computer can't handle it. And so there has never truly been a point in time where I could create the video content that I've wanted to actually create. And so I think I just have to start accepting that nothing's happening before it's time and everything happens for a reason. And sometimes rejection is divine protection. And these are all things I always tell people. These are all things that I believe in. But when it comes to myself, I'm like, no, absolutely not. No. And so, yeah, anyways, that was my really cute, really short, sweet, like, vulnerable moment. Is there anything else that's been going on? What is something that's pissed me off this week? Men. I think men have pissed me off this week. Yeah, no, I take that back. Family. Family has pissed me off this week. And I'm going to combine, yes, I'm going to say more family. I came back from my trip. My grandmother just turned 100 years old. I can now finally tell all the details. I was giving little details here and there because I was like, I wasn't sure everything that was happening. But my grandmother just turned 100 years. So everyone say, happy birthday, grandma. Happy birthday, grandma. My grandmother just turned 100 years old. Yes, I have a 100-year-old grandmother. A lot of family members on my mom's side of the family live past 100 years. It's very common, for my family at least. And the island that they live on, Dominica, small French islands, not Dominican Republic. I'm talking about Commonwealth of Dominica. They just tend to just live past 100. Dominica really creates centenarians. My grandmother became the 15th person who is alive and 100 and over on the island. They said that at one point they had 29 living centenarians, so anyone who's 100 and over. And so why it's not qualified as a blue zone, I guess we'll never know. And a blue zone is a place that frequently produces people who live past 100. And so I went for my grandmother's 100th birthday party, which was really fun and really great. But one thing I learned, my family cannot communicate to save their lives. It got to a point where I was like, I don't need full sentences. I don't need phone calls. Literally, if I just have a message that said, a bar, 4 p.m. Cool. We're going to a bar at 4 p.m. I will be ready and dressed for a bar at 4 p.m. I wasn't getting that. Instead, I was getting, why aren't you ready yet? Don't you know that we're going to do this? No. Oh, well, we're going to do this. And honestly, you should just be ready and waiting for me because you never know where the day is going to take you. You're in a different country. And so you should just be ready. And it kept happening over and over and over where no one was communicating dress codes, places, plans, where we had to be, why we had to be, who we had to be. Like nothing was being communicated. And so, hold on, my throat's kind of dry. Nothing was being communicated. And I was getting so frustrated that I brought my childhood friend, Danny. And y'all have all heard from Danny. We did the math. We've been friends for 11 years. And she came down with me. And it got to the point where I was getting so frustrated that sometimes Danny just had to look at me and be like, Brianna, breathe. Like, she just ended up being the peacekeeper because that's just who she is. She's a peacekeeper. She's just the person who like balances everyone's out, makes everyone go round. And I am like the arguer who will go bar for bar, round for round with you. And so I'm going bar for bar, round for round with family members. And Danny is literally like grabbing my shoulder, being like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You need to stop. I was like losing it. I just had no more patience. And I think for me it was because like, I've grown up with these people. For her, it was her first time dealing with these people. And so Connie, oh my God, girl. Dog farts stink so bad. And Connie just let one loose. And I swear to you, I could pass out. Connie. And she asleep in a circle, curled up in a ball like she ain't just do that. Connie, girl. Disgusting. Anywho, back to what I was saying. Jesus Christ. Girl, you stink. Back to what I was saying. So I was getting frustrated. That's what was pissing me off this week. And so I was just really angry. I just need to drink some water, you know. This is just going to be a real calm, cute, collected. You know, I wasn't able to get podcast episodes out on time that I wanted to, which I think I'm officially claiming my schedule as Tuesday and Friday. I thought it was Tuesday and Thursday. I made a mistake. It's Tuesday and Friday is when my podcast episodes go up, and I couldn't get 2 out because, fun fact, oh my God, why are my vocal cords so dry? What did I have today? You know what? It was probably all the drinking that I was doing when I was in Dominica, which I'm going to tell y'all all the stories. Don't even worry about it. Your girl's going to tell you all the stories. She's going to tell you all the tea, all the juice, all the shade. Anywho, it was probably all the drinking. I drink a lot with my cousins. This was the first time that I've actually had bonding experiences with my older cousins. And actually, I would say mainly older cousins. I'm 25, okay? So I was never at a point where I could actually bond with my cousins. You know, all my cousins are either 10 years above me or 10 years below me. I never really had cousins in my age group. And so the one cousin that I had, Jason, who's in my age group, which I made a podcast episode with him a long time ago called Interviewing My Childhood Bully, because he literally was. We just like grew up like siblings, and we've always acted like siblings, and that's just been the case. Excuse me. But I never really got that bonding experience. And so finally, for the first time, everyone was old enough and we were all forced together on an island. And we finally got the chance to bond because we've had a family reunion before in Dominica, but I was still like 13 years old. I even had purple hair, and I only had purple hair in middle school. That's to tell you how long ago it was. And so oh my God, yeah, no, middle school and no, was it intermediate? I don't think I had purple hair in intermediate. I think intermediate was when I was doing reds. I wasn't doing purples. I want to say middle school was when I had my purple hair, because I haven't done funky hair colors since middle school. Okay, unpopular opinion. I feel like kids, like actual middle schoolers and everything, are when you need to have your funky color hair experiments, because as a kid, having hair colors that were just so different, purple, blues, reds, pinks, all that was so fun because I was a child. As an adult, it's not that I don't think it's cool, but I think as an adult, it becomes less acceptable to have fun hair colors. Like, it becomes basically you have to already have a secure job with a boss who's not going to fire you or tell you anything about your fun colored hair. One, if you're that person who likes fun colored hair. And then two, sometimes you just kind of grow out of like wanting fun colors. And so I don't understand why we have this idea. And I'm especially saying this to a certain community of people, because I know a lot of times, you know, I will see videos of parents who are like braiding. I'm going to refer to the Black community. I'll see videos of like people putting braids in their kids' hair, and it'll be all these different colors. And then a lot of the comments will be like, oh, you're making her look grown. She's too grown. What's up with that grown hairstyle? And it's like, but that's when you should have all the rainbow colored hair. Like, you're a child. Like, that's a literal child. Of course they want a rainbow in their head. Like, what? Like, the world is so colorful, beautiful, sparkly rainbows, but whatever. So I digress. But yes. So I think what was I talking about? Middle school. Oh yeah. Dominica in middle school. So I wasn't going out and partying and drinking with my cousins, but this was the first time that I could. And it was just so fun. So insane. I enjoyed every second of it. And typically I hate going on this island because my family just pisses me off. And this island, I only go to visit family. I don't get to do any of the touristy things. But for the first time, because it was so many of us together, my mom specifically planned days to do touristy things. And so it was fun to finally like, I didn't know Dominica had waterfalls. Like logically I knew like, hey, Dominica should have waterfalls, but I never saw any because I was only going from family member to family member's house. And I finally got to go to one of the touristy areas and see the Twin Falls and these huge waterfalls. And my Danny literally went climbing up the rocks because like you can literally walk into the water and climb it. Like there's no barrier or anything saying like you can't go and climb up to the waterfall. And so my family starts doing it. They start climbing up these wet rocks, huge boulder-sized rocks, by the way. And Danny looks at me and goes, "Are you going?" Here's the thing, though. I ain't ever stepped on a wet rock and not slipped. And so I'm looking at those waterfall like, no, absolutely not. So I looked at Danny and went, "Hand me my stuff. Go follow my family members." So they all take off and they start climbing all the rocks. And like, I kind of almost felt like a party pooper on the trip because, and you know what? I blame Ben. I think I hang out with Ben too much because Ben is like the number one person to instantly just be like, oh, and if you don't know, Ben's my cousin, but Ben will be the first person to literally just be like, no, I'm not doing it. No, I'm not going. Oh, nope. One thing went wrong. Take me home. And so because I was just so frustrated with so many things, I was just instantly doing that. And like there were so many times that Danny would be like, "Oh my God, we should." And I'll be like, "No, I'm done." So the waterfall ended up being one of them where I was like, that's not going to happen. I'm literally going to fall and break my butt. Not to mention, I was already huffing and puffing because it's like a 10-minute hike up. Well, it kind of like you go down a bunch of steps and I was like, this is an easy hike. And then we had to go up a bunch of steps and I was like, I'm going to die. And so I'm like huffing and puffing. She's like, we're climbing the waterfall, right? And I was like, Danny, no. I can't breathe. No. And then I caught my breath and I was like, okay, now that I can actually breathe, the answer is still no, but it's not as a hard no as I was saying as earlier. So it was so funny. So I was the photographer, got a bunch of cute pictures of her climbing the rocks and everything. It was so funny. And then on her way, bro, when I tell you, I watched so many people get hurt on these rocks. Like I watched so many people fall over. One girl dropped her phone in the water. There's like pebble, like it would be better to have water shoes to climb these rocks if you end up going to Dominica and going to Trafalgar Falls, I think is the name. We're going to just ignore all my pronunciations, even though, yes, this is the country that my family comes from. This is technically my culture. I cannot speak the language. It is a French dialect. It's literally broken French. I'm not going to pronounce anything right. Okay, I'm going to pronounce it like a Kardashian appropriating the culture. And that's just that. Okay, so Trafalgar Falls. And it's so beautiful, but take water shoes because everyone who stepped into them rocks, those beginning pebbles look sharp because everybody who stepped into it was cringing. They're wincing. They're tiptoeing, trying to climb on other rocks, taking it slow. And I was like, I know those rocks hurt. I just know they hurt. So they all climbed. Saw a few people get hurt. And then my mom screaming at us, like, let's go, let's go. And I'm like, oh my God, guys, my mom's saying, let's go, hurry up. And so I'm starting to get frustrated because this entire time on this like little island tour that we did where we got to go see a bunch of the big touristy areas, every time me, Danny, who is now an honorary cousin, and my other cousin got together and we're like having fun and we're getting comfortable, it literally was like, let's go. So we're not enjoying the things the way we want to. I mean, the first place we went to was the freshwater lake, and I mean, it's at the top of a mountain. How is a lake at the top of a mountain? I don't know, man, but that's how nature works, I guess. And so we step out into a storm. Because if you don't know this, the higher you are on the mountain, the worse the weather gets. So even though it's a drizzle at the base, it's a hurricane at the top. So we got up to the top and it's a full-blown hurricane. The fog is going. The wind is blowing hardcore. Like we're shaking in the car. The wind is blowing so hard. It is pouring rain because we're literally at the peak of a mountain. And me, my cousin Sharon, and Danny run out and we're prancing in the storm. We're like, this is so funny, but the wind is so cold because, again, top of a mountain. And we're just like having the time of our life. It was so funny. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting there, we're taking pictures, we're having fun with the lake and everything. And then it's like, it's time to go. Tell me why we get back to the car. Everybody already done left us. I was like, what the hell? Okay, but we still keep going. It was so funny. We're like running in the rain and everything. I have a video of us of like literally I just press record because it just starts to pour as we're running, booking it to the car, right? And the entire time in the video, I'm just like, it's fine. It's fine. This is fine. Oh my God. Let me play the video, in fact, because when I tell you, it is literally so freaking funny. And then we all get into the car and we're like, actually, that was fun. I would do it again. It's like, no, absolutely would do it again. It was the funniest thing. Oh my God, I have to look at, we were talking to goats. Like like literally pulling up on the side of a mountain, making my uncle stop. And there was a goat and we're literally going, bah. And the goats are bawing right back at us. Dog, time of my life. I had so much fun. My cousins and Danny literally made the trip like everything that it was, including Sharon. I don't know. I told her what my podcast was. Hopefully she listens. But when I tell you, like, she literally made the trip. Literally, as we were leaving to like hop on the flight back to Houston, I literally looked at her and was like, if you are not here the next time I'm in Dominica, I am going to be pissed. There was even a moment. Oh my God, wait, hold on. I think this is it. This is us. This is fine. That's fine. Everything's fine. You literally just hear me get into the car and go, it's fine. Everything's fine. There's another night where we had a beach party for my grandmother. We're all having fun. Girl, tell me why it's time to go. We can't find the keys to the rental. And I'm staying at my uncle's house because my mom and my grandmother's worker is staying at her house and it's only a 2-bedroom house. And so there wasn't room for me and Danny. And so we're staying at my uncle's house. So my uncle like loses the rental keys and we're just like, where are the keys? Where are the keys? Everyone has their flashlights scouring this beach. I'm telling you, it is literally a scavenger hunt on the beach. We can't find the keys. Y'all tell me why in the middle of looking for the damn keys, boom, starts raining. Boy, when I tell you, we all just, an entire family huddles under like the one place that has shelter. And it's a very small pavilion. And we're all huddled under it. We all just came out the water. So we're cold, we're wet, we're wrapped in towels, we're shivering. It was just so funny. And then because it's a beach and a tropical island, so it rains like every 5 minutes, mosquitoes are eating us up. I just pull out my bug spray. I just start spraying it on me. I went through an entire thing of bug spray in 10 days on this trip. It was insane. My trip also had to get extended because when Houston got 6 inches of snow, I was on a tropical island. In fact, the day Houston got 6 inches of snow, I was supposed to be landing in Houston. But then Houston said, oh, that is so cute. Every single airport in Houston is going to be shutting down. So, teehee, guess who had to miss out on the snow and was very sad about that? It was not fun. It wasn't cute. I got an extra day on the island, which meant I got to go get souvenirs. I got to see other things, which was cute or whatever. But damn, did I wish that I got to play in the snow. Because watching the videos, seeing how it was like actual nice, thick snow and like not the slushy type of snow that Houston actually gets, I was so jealous. I will say the following day I was able to land and come back home and there was still snow in my yard and on the roads and on my car. And the first thing I did was like grab a handful of snow and throw it up in the air, sprinkling it, realizing that it's actual powdery snow, just tossing it up. I had so much fun with the bit of snow that I could have. I'm just a cold person. I prefer the cold climates. I do not like warm areas. I don't get it. I don't understand how I literally am going to complain about this all the time because my friends look at me like I'm crazy. Like they look at me like I'm psychotic when I talk about I love the cold. I love being in the cold. Like it just makes me feel better. I just prefer being cold. and all of my friends prefer the heat. And like down to Ben and Danny were with me today as I'm like running errands, because somehow we all ended up being forced together, which was so funny because this morning Danny was literally like, oh my God, like, do you want to run some errands with me, hang out with me? And I was like, no, today's my last day without my mom. Like, let me enjoy my last few hours of freedom before she comes back and like becomes the dictator of my life again. And I literally ended up being with them like half the day anyways. Like, I ended up being forced into it. There's no other way of explaining it other than like I was going about my day. Next thing you know, Ben was like, I'm gonna eat, like, come on, let's go eat. So I go with him to go eat, and then he was like, okay, on top of it, and I kind of had to leave the house to go do errands. So I was like, okay, cool, you can be on my way to my errands. Like, let's stop, let's grab a meal, then I'm gonna go. Then it was, no, you actually have to drop me here to pick up your uncle's car. I'm gonna take you to the place to drop off the package for your uncle, because that was something I was told to do yesterday. And so I just, oh my God, did I send it to him? Oh yeah, I had Ben send it to him. And so I just ended up, and the next thing you know, car not ready. I had to go to Danny for her to unlock my suitcase because I had a lock on my suitcase, but she had the key for the suitcase. And so I'm just like, okay, well, now you're coming with me to go get my suitcase unlocked. And Danny was like, wait, where are y'all going? I was like, I had groceries to pick up. She was like, all right, I'm coming too. I was like, come on, hop in the car. Next thing you know, half my day, boom, I'm spending it with Danny and Ben. Was it worth it? Hell yes. But I just thought it was so funny that at the beginning of the day, I was like, no, I'm going to enjoy my one last day of freedom. Girl, I didn't spend it by myself. What the hell? I should have known better. Of course that happens. That always happens to me. I'll be going about my day and I'm like, no, I don't want to interact with people. Next thing you know, half my day gone. Boom. Spent it with my friends. How does that happen? I don't know. And it's not that I'm complaining about it, right? Because like my friends always make my day, but I'm very much an introvert. And being an introvert does not mean, oh, I like to be by myself. I don't want to talk to people. I don't like people, blah, 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 blah. No, I enjoy being with people. It's just that the way I fill myself up, like fill up my cup and take care of myself, is I have to recharge alone. So I need a lot of alone time because that's when my battery gets recharged. And an extrovert, their battery gets recharged being around people. That's how they fill themselves up. That's how they fill up their cup, is by being around people. And I don't understand. And I think that's why I've been so grumpy recently, because I have a mother who's an extrovert. I have a lot of friends who are extroverts. And then here's my little, and no, I take that back, because I do have a lot of introverted friends. So I have a mom who's an extrovert. My friends are like 50-50. Some friends are extroverts, some are introverts. So the extroverts obviously always want to talk to me and hang out with me and call me and text me and all this and that. And then I also have other family members who are extroverts who live really close to me, so they have a lot of access to me. And so I've turned into a revolving door of constantly talking and seeing and hanging out with people since I moved back to Houston. And I think it's like put me on a ticking time bomb a little bit, and not necessarily in a bad way where I'm just like going off on people, but I do think my fuse has gotten shorter. And I think it's also like that family time, man, they shorten my fuse by a lot. So sometimes I just feel like I'm a ticking time bomb. But back to Dominica, right? So in Dominica with my family, my favorite memory of the entire trip, there's two. I'm not even telling these in chronological order. So my favorite memory was this the last night that we went out? Yes. Okay, so there's one night where we went out and everyone got so drunk that I don't even want to tell the story on here on the podcast. Like, that story is going to be saved for I almost said Patreon, because most influencers always have a Patreon and they're like, this is for my Patreon. I don't have a Patreon. I have a subscription for my podcast. I believe it's $4.99 a month, and I'm honestly about to go raise the price. Sorry, guys. You know what? No, I'm gonna keep it at $4.99 a month. But I do think I will be raising the price in the future, and not because I'm like, oh my God, like I deserve all this money. Please quote this. We'll come back to this episode whenever people are like, oh my God, why does she think her subscription is worth that much? Who does she think she is? This is influencers looking for a cash grab. But I want to raise the price because I want to tell more personal stuff on there. And I really just want to deter people who don't need to be listening to that stuff, right? So I want the people who actually care. I want the actual curious. I want the people who are just like, I just need more, like genuinely need more. And so I don't want I don't want to outprice people out of like, this is affordable, so I might as well do it. But I definitely need to outprice the, well, this is so cheap. Who cares? You know, like I'm going to just do it out of curiosity or whatever. My point being, so I will be raising the price soon. But that story, I can only tell it behind a paywall on my podcast subscription, which you can get on Spotify. I believe you can also sign up for it on Apple Podcasts. I'm not 100% sure, but I know for sure through Spotify, you can sign up through the subscription. It's $4.99 a month and you can hear the story. I do need to make a podcast episode for my subscription, for my subscribers soon, because there's a lot of tea I need to tell y'all and I just need to spill the tea, all of it. But yeah, and so that story we're going to skip. Too many embarrassing things happened for me to tell it fully to the public for free. You can't get that for free. But my favorite night, we can talk about it for free, because this was one that was so insane to me that I told my mom about it, and even she was like, what the hell? And my mom, she doesn't like me drinking. She doesn't like me doing alcohol. And so the fact that like this story, I'm just going to tell it. So basically, my mom hates me drinking. So we start the night with me taking a bottle. So we had just finished the big party for my grandmother. And when I say big party, I mean the president of Dominica came to celebrate my grandmother's 100th birthday party, because they turn it into a big thing for their centenarians. They really want to celebrate and really make that like a big focal touristy point of the island. And so the president came out. One, the president is a woman. The president is a woman. They kept saying Her Majesty. In fact, when the lady who had to coordinate the president coming to my grandmother's birthday was talking to my mom, and she said, yes, you have to say Her Excellency, I paused and was like, her? So I got to speak to her and I got to be like, oh my God, hi, it's so nice to meet you. And it was so nice. And I was so sad I didn't get to take a picture with her. But I literally, like, after she talked to me and Danny, I looked at Danny and went, we talked to a woman president. I was so excited. And to just see, like, her man was just there. I don't know if he has a job. I don't know if he's a first man. I don't know if he's anything. All I know is that's the president and that's her husband, whose name I don't even remember because he's so unimportant. And it made me so happy. And she has such pretty curly hair. Oh, she's so gorgeous. And I was like, it's a woman. And she even said, like, during the speech, she was like, she told my grandmother, like, I'm so happy that you turned 100 and I'm so happy to be here to celebrate you, especially as a woman. Like, I get to look up to you and you're really leading how does she put it? Like, you're really leading by example for women, so women know that, like, we can reach this milestone too. And I was just like, like, it was so, oh my God, I cannot talk about how fun it was to like meet a woman, a black woman who is a president of a country, and I got to meet her and she's gorgeous. I love her. I love her so much. There's nothing else to say except that I love her. So I took pictures of her, but I wasn't able to get pictures with her. She's a busy woman. She's running a country. She's too busy running a country. She's phenomenal. Anyways. And then the prime minister also came out to my grandmother's birthday party on her actual birthday. Okay, so fun fact about my grandmother, she's born on January 16th, but she was born in 1925. So back then, birth certificates had to be handwritten. And so she was born on the 16th, then it had to be notarized or something by the church. So it got to the church. They got to the Catholic Church on January 18th. So by the time it got to an actual government official, it was January 20th. And for some reason, someone wrote the date instead of her birthday. And so now her birth certificate says January 20th, but she was actually born January 16th. So the president coming out for her birthday could only be by what her birth certificate says. And my mom has tried arguing this. She's tried appealing it. She's tried everything. She's explained it to them. And they were like, we understand that, But we have to go by her birth certificate. We understand that that's a common thing, blah, 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 blah. But like, sorry, we have to go by her birth certificate. But the prime minister of Dominica is actually from the same town that my grandmother lives in. Therefore, the prime minister became besties with my grandmother before he was a prime minister, when he was just a little boy. And he just knew my grandmother as his second mom and literally called her like mama or something like that. And so he grew up at her house. He grew up with her, feeding him, giving him drinks and everything. And now he's a prime minister. And so on the 16th, we had a mass for my grandmother, and then we had a big party for her right next door to her house. Also, the church is on her property. So like, it's her church. It's literally a Catholic church on her property, her house. And then right next to it is a resource center. Listen, my grandmother is a phenomenal woman. Okay. She has a lot going for her. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. She's lived a weird life. And so we went to the church, walked over to the resource center. She's 100 years old. So someone drove her to the resource center, even though it's literally next door. And I was like, damn, do I wish I had a vehicle to just drive me next door? Like, genuinely, literally looked at someone and went, can I ride with my grandmother? But that's besides the point. It was so funny because while we're in church, my mom gets up and announces, like, can everyone please stand for the prime minister of Dominica? And I was like, oh my God, he's here. And like, of course he's here on my grandmother's actual birthday party, because like, that's literally her bestie or whatever. And like, he sat through the mass. He brought her a cake. He brought her gifts. He like went to her little party. It was so cute. But it was just so funny to be in church with the prime minister. And after a certain point, I was like, who are these like men who are dressed up for church, sitting in the pews, walking around the building, but like, they're on the lookout, right? Their heads are on a swivel. That's when I realized that's the prime minister's security. And they forced them, like, it has to be the prime minister made them dress up for church. And I just thought that was so funny, because none of them were in the official uniforms. They're all in button-down t-shirts, slacks, dress pants. They're dressed up for church. And I so badly wish I was in the room for that conversation of like, yeah, we have to go to so-and-so's, Miss LeBlanc's birthday party, but we have to go to mass first. We got the invitation. You need to be dressed for church. See you there. See you there Thursday at 10 a.m. Like, who? I just want to know so badly what that conversation sounded like. Bro, not the security being forced to be dressed up for church. You're not wearing your uniform. You're wearing a button-down shirt. You're going to sit down in this mass with me. I just thought it was funny. And I kept making eye contact with one of the security guards. And at a certain point, I was like, he must think I'm trying to do something. Because at this point, because he wasn't like making eye contact with me like casually. He kept looking at me like, if you try something, I will hurt you. So at a certain point, it kind of felt like he thought I was going to do something. And then I got scared. So then I just stopped looking back there. But every once in a while, something would like, I would hear a chicken or a rooster or something in the background, because like, listen, it's a tropical island and we're in the country. So then like animals noises would be happening. I would turn and I'll make eye contact with him again. It was kind of weird. But anyways, so back to my point. Go to my grandma's birthday party. Prime minister's there. He's taking pictures with people. He's interacting with people. Me and Danny walk up to him. We're like, can we get a picture with you? We get a picture with him. Hi, nice to meet you. My mom also introduced me to him. That's like my third time meeting the prime minister, because he came to visit my grandmother while she was here in Texas living with us. It was a whole thing, right? So my mom reintroduces me and is like, oh my God, this is my daughter, blah, 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 blah. Shake his hand. Later on, get a picture with him. Da, 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 da. All this to say, later on, my uncle doesn't realize that I have already been introduced to the prime minister. And this is just so funny to me. This is something that like, damn, I can't believe this is how my brain works. And I just think it's hilarious. So later on, I'm walking past the prime minister and my uncle having a conversation. And then my uncle goes, oh my God. I don't know what's happening. She just started barking. Anyways, so my uncle is in a deep conversation with the prime minister. Connie, who are you barking at? Was it a bad dream? It was a bad dream. And so my uncle's in a deep conversation with the prime minister, and I'm walking past, and then my uncle just goes, oh my God, hey, Brianna. And I turn, I'm like, yes. And then my uncle goes, yeah, so this is my niece, Brianna. And the prime minister goes, we've met. And I look at him and I was like, yeah, oh my God, yeah, uncle, we've already met. We've already been introduced. Oh my God, a puppy, fully lean to the side in front of the prime minister, right? Lean to the side, look around him because the cutest little puppy dog walked behind him. And as I walked away, found Danny, sat down, I told Danny in that moment, I just realized that to a prime minister's face, I said, oh, look, a puppy, and looked past him because in that moment in time, a puppy was just more interesting. And I couldn't help it. Okay. It was like a family of dogs. So it was like one mama dog and then two little puppies because this party is outside, like in front of the resource center. And there was these cute dogs walking around and there was the two cutest little puppies. They were so adorable. Like I'm talking maybe a couple months old, like new, so brand new, so adorable, so cute, so tiny. And so the puppy just walks behind the prime minister and I'm like, yeah, uncle, we've already met. We've already been introduced. Lean over. Oh my God, look, a puppy. Are you not embarrassed? I was, and I wasn't. I was just like, oh my God, look, a puppy. Okay, anyways, bye. And just walked away. And I don't think, I don't think he thought about it deeply. I think he was just like, okay, weirdo, and like kept pushing. Didn't think about it, never thought about it again. Me, though, I have thought about it so many times because I cannot believe I'm meeting a prime minister and not meeting a prime minister, but I'm interacting with a prime minister and I just, oh, look, a puppy. Dear God. So anyways, one of the nights, me and my cousins, this is the last night that we're able to go out because our flight's been extended. Everyone's all being pushed back another day in Dominica due to the weather in Houston. So we're like, okay, one last hurrah. It's a night out on the town. We steal a bottle from the party, okay? Me and Danny were bartenders. We were like, all right, we're done bartending. This bottle's almost empty. Let's take it. We're going to drink. And so I'm telling my cousin, hey, when we go out tonight, we have a bottle to pregame. And I mean, it's very little left in the bottle, okay? Like, we're not just taking a bottle away from people. Like, it was a very little amount left in this bottle. And I was like, thank you very much. This is my payment for bartending for free. I'm outie, right? So I'm texting my cousin, hey, I can hear her having a conversation with my uncle, right? Because I'm staying in my uncle's house. My other cousin is downstairs staying with my uncle. My other cousin, which happens to be my uncle's son, I have 7 uncles in total. One has passed. So I have 6 living uncles in total. And so there's a lot of cousins. There's a lot of uncles. So I'm staying with one of my uncles. He's downstairs. I can hear his voice. He's talking to one of my cousins. And I'm just like, I text my other cousin who's not his daughter. I text her and I go, hey, should I bring down a bottle downstairs? Like, should it be okay for us to bring it down to pregame? And she responds with, no, uncle's tripping, like he's going off on his son right now. And it was because that day, my cousin, aka his son, had to drive an hour and a half. No, I think it's roughly an hour to an hour and a half away to the other town because he had to wake up for work the following morning. So he wasn't staying and spending the night. He had spent the night for, I want to say like 3-4 days partying with the family, but it was time for him to go back to work. And so so my uncle's going off on him because he's just kind of like, why are you going out to drink and party right now? You have a job. Like, you need to make good decisions. Excuse me. You can't be drunk driving. Like, what's wrong with you? And so I was like, okay, we're not taking this bottle. Let me put it back in our room. Let's hide it again. Oh my God, we can't have this. So we just like run down. We're chilling. Then I get a lecture from my mom because one of my other uncle's friends is coming out with us and he does not know when to stop. He just drinks and drinks and drinks and drinks and drinks. And this boy does not have an off button. He does not have a stop button. He does not have a this has been enough button. And so my mom's lecturing me because she's like, he doesn't know when to stop, but you need to know when to stop and you need to take care of yourself. And I'm like, all right, mom, like if I've survived college without blacking out and putting myself in a hospital. One night out with my cousins, I'm not going to die. I promise you. My reusable Stanley it's a little knockoff Stanley, but like, we're going to call it a Stanley because it's to mimic a Stanley. My little Stanley is already, filled with water. Like, girl, I'm good. We going out. So we out on the town. We outside tonight, baddies. That's what the energy me and all my cousins were on. Here's the other thing. There's a lot of male cousins in my family. And so I really enjoy being one of the few girls because it's a bunch of older men. Every time I go out with them, every time that I went out with them on the island, they just covered everything. They just paid for everything because, like, oh my God, I'm just a little weak little girl. Oh my God, how dare you think that I have money to pay for my own things? No, I'm fragile. I'm small. I'm weak. And so they always covered everything. And so this night, yet again, did not have to touch a wallet. They took care of it all. And so we get there. My cousin's the driver. One of my older male cousins are the driver. We're going to the bar. We get to the bar. We're having a good time. He starts ordering us shots. We're 3 shots deep. Next thing you know, the other older cousins all come. And when I say older cousins, I'm talking about the 40-year-olds, all right? I'm talking married, wife, kids, house, career, all this stuff. Old men, okay? And I know 40 is really not that old, but they're my cousins. So I'm going to call them old as hell grandpas. So all the old as hell grandpas come in. And next thing you know, it's buy a round of shots for the bar. Everybody, and there wasn't many people. Like, there was only 4 other customers at the bar. And so now it's all family, 4 other people and the bartender. So now my cousins are like, round of shots for everyone. And now shots start flowing. Bartender getting a shot. I'm talking about like 14 shots per round, okay? Handing out a drink to every single person at this bar. Bartender, where's your shot? You need to take a shot too. So now for every shot we're taking, bartender's matching us. And it gets to the point where everyone in the bar slowly starts getting drunk. Music's blasting, music's going good. We swaying a little, we having fun. Next thing you know, it's time to go to the next bar. Let's go. So we hop in a car, we go to the next bar. When we get to the next bar, I'm like, hold on, why am I seeing familiar faces? Y'all, why my cousins buy everyone so many drinks that the 4 customers who were there before we got there followed us to the bar. The bartender got so drunk, she followed us. She closed the bar, her bar, and followed us to the next bar. We keep drinking at that bar, having fun. We all order My cousin literally just orders wings for every person who was with us. So I think he said I think the number he told the bartender was 16 plates of wings. So everyone's eating wings at this bar. That was also the other reason why we went to the other bar, because they had amazing wings. Man, it's a little tiny bar on a small island. Them wings were fresh. Like, they were definitely taking raw chicken, breading it and deep frying it in the back. And then they gave you fries and a little side salad. Oh my God. I will dream about those wings. Them wings were delicious. They knew what the hell they were doing. So we had them wings. It was delicious. Next thing you know, we walk over because there's like another miniature bar attached to this bar that we're in. I walk up to my cousins. I'm like, what y'all doing? What y'all up to? Y'all, why the bartender in the miniature bar ends up also being a LeBlanc, ends up also being part of our family. What the hell? So now we're talking to her. We're like, oh my God, that's crazy. Me and Danny look up. Danny goes, oh my God, is that Jose? I don't know how to say the full name of this tequila. Jose Cuervo? I think it is Jose Cuervo. I don't know. Jose is on the shelf, okay? Jose is sitting on the shelf. And everywhere we go, me and Danny are tequila girlies. We love our tequila. Everywhere I go, buy me a shot of tequila. Point blank period. I am a tequila drinker. We can't find tequila on this island. Every bar we've been going to, we've went out like 3 times at different bars with cousins throughout the time we were there. Nowhere has tequila. Every time they're like, there's no tequila. There's no tequila. We get to this bar. We look up. Is that Jose? The family member bartender turns around. Yeah, that's Jose. That's tequila. Do you want a shot? Me and Danny look at each other like, hell yeah, we finna take the shot. My other old man, grown cousin literally sits there, goes, give them the shots, I'm paying for it. I was like, oh my God. 2 shots of Jose, please. She brings out the lime. She brings out the salt. She brings out the tequila. She fills the shot glass to the rim. Me and Danny finally get to take our first shots of tequila. It was scrumptious. And we wake up feeling perfectly fine. In total, we counted, I believe we had, I want to say it was 9 shots. No, it was 7 shots, 9 drinks in total, because we also got some mixed drinks. So 7 shots, 9 drinks in total. So it was a fun night, to say the least. We got fun. We woke up. We weren't hungover. We were drinking water throughout the night. It was a great night. But yeah, when I told my mom that the following morning, like, yeah, they were ordering rounds of shots for the bar. I mean, when we got to the second bar, the reason why we got another round of shots was because my other older cousin, there was a lot of cousins, okay? As I said, it was like 14 rounds. 14 shots for the entire bar and me and all my family members to drink, keeping in mind there was already 4 people there at the bar already. And so one of my other older cousins walks up to me and he's like, I can finally like mingle with y'all. I can finally buy y'all shots. This is so amazing. So I look at him and I was like, yeah, I can finally buy us shots. Buy another round of shots. He went, okay. Bartender. Me and Danny look at each other. We go, ooh. Because I thought he was kidding, right? When I said that, like, it was a little joke. I didn't think he would actually be like, okay, another round of shots. I thought he would be like, okay, guys, be responsible. Like, no, we're not going to do that. Because already at the previous bar, he's like, do y'all have water? Are y'all drinking water? Please don't sit here and just keep drinking shots. Like, still take care of yourself. So I thought he was still going to be on that energy. No, I think he realized we were taking such good care of ourselves that the boy looks at the bartender and goes, hey, round of shots. Oh, what do you mean by that? But it was a good time. And so when I told my mom, like, yeah, mom, like, we got to the bar, we met a family member. This was the family member. The bartender shut down the bar and followed us. She was so drunk at the bar, blah, blah, blah. My mom literally was like, what the hell? Like, she was baffled. Like, she didn't even care that we got drunk. She was like, okay, so y'all were drunk. Y'all really remember people when y'all are drunk. And we were like, we weren't drunk. We were responsibly drinking, which was true, which is why we didn't wake up with hangovers, because we were taking care of ourselves. But it was just so funny. And so even my mom was just like, what the hell is wrong with y'all? And I'm just like, I don't know. We just had a good time. So yeah, that was fun. And that was my little story of like my bars, drunk nights. That was my little Dominica vacation story. And so I wanted to get this episode out for y'all because I missed my little Tuesday, Friday postings because trip got extended. It was a whole lot. Didn't have signal on the island. So I didn't even bring my laptop to record content because I just knew I couldn't upload it. It was hell. That internet out there, absolute hell. So, I'm tired. Anyways, I gotta go pick my mom up from the airport now. So, I love you all. And to all, I need to go take an allergy pill. I was petting Connie and now my nose is running and it sucks. And I think that's why my vocal cords are also partly dry, is because I was petting Connie. And so, yeah, I need to go take an allergy pill because your girl won't be able to breathe soon. But I love you guys. Ta-ta for now. Show's over. Bye.